Yes, the memories of St. Peter's Junior High. The school bus, the laughter, the busy hallways with everyone excited about one thing or another. Your first teen crush and your first kiss. The playfulness in the schoolyard. The charismatic Italians that brought a smile to everyone's face with their pranks and their zest for life. The teachers that made learning fun. The sock hop dances, the sports, the school band and the plays. The field trips and the great friends. Yes, these are the memories we cherish, and they come back later in life. Pleasurable memories. But for some, there's also the dark memories to contend with. The memories of a teacher who ruthlessly beat up on young defenseless boys. A Jekyll and Hyde who could snap at the drop of a pin, seemingly caring and courteous one minute and a raging monster the next. A man who could brutally attack a child without warning and choke him until he was on the verge of passing out. I was a victim of one of his most ferocious attacks at 13 years of age, and I was also a witness to at least 4 other violent attacks on children in the years to follow. How many others suffered the same fate we may never know. What I do know is that this extreme violence started at least 4 years before I came to the school, and it was still happening when I left 3 years later. This violent monster continued teaching there for several years to come. The impact of this violence was profound. While attending this school, not a day went by when I did not think about the horror of that day. He nearly took my life. Every time I looked at this teacher in class, the nightmare played out in my mind. I wondered when he would snap again. Sure enough, in my final year, he was on the verge of attacking me once again, but I was bigger and stronger and my defiance was enough to turn him away. Of course, this meant some other child would need to bear the brunt of his rage, and sure enough, this was the case. Other teachers had witnessed the terror, but nothing was ever done to stop it as far as I know. I would be very surprised if it had not been reported to the school board, but then again, it was a Catholic school, in an age of denial and cover-ups. As for the teachers who witnessed the incidents, I know of at least one who was terrified of this perpetrator. Anyone who attended this school would know precisely who I am talking about. It wasn't a secret. Stories circulated throughout the halls and school grounds on a regular basis with each new victim. And what I find interesting is that I was a good kid who kept out of trouble. I was polite and respectful of others. The other victims I knew were similar in nature as well. This man still walks free to this day. He got away with his crimes, leaving his victims with some very troubling memories. Not just the memories of the attacks, but the memories of how they were left so vulnerable, with no protection, and then no justice. I personally try to avoid these memories in favor of the good ones, but every so often I wonder how this experience may have affected my trust in people. But we move on, and we live our lives the best way we can. In 2014, I asked the Ottawa Police to investigate this matter and to let me know if the Catholic School Board had been aware of these violent attacks. The sergeant dealing with my concerns never got back to me despite the numerous messages I left on her answering machine. In the end, nothing changes. There was no accountability 40-some years ago, and there's none today. Besides the violence, there was also a certain amount of sexual exploitation taking place at this school at the hands of another teacher, and some students were also victims of quite serious emotional abuse. Fortunately, the vast majority of teachers at this school were kind and considerate individuals with higher moral standards. Anyway, to all the wonderful people who attended this school when I was there, thanks for all the fond memories. Fortunately, these do outweigh the bad. Cheers to all of you.